just in case.
Hello and welcome to another video from the Double Pivot Pod. In game week 5, there wasn't many clean sheets. In fact, there was only one and no safe picks. Everybody will know by now my safe pick. He's here alongside me every single week. It's FPL Discomfort. Kieran, how are you doing? Did you like that intro? I prepped that and everything. That was a good intro, man.
It was a good intro. It was adorable. I think like we're now in a relationship, and I think immediately I got a few messages from some of our loyal viewers letting me know on Saturday morning that I was scheduled to go live at 9:30. When obviously we're not that consistent. We didn't make it last week. However, I will point out for those of you that do follow us, we did make it because I appeared on Gary's FPL Have a Beer show, and you had your fixture decoder. So technically, we didn't fail. We both appeared. We both let our thoughts out there. We just didn't do it together. So instead, we had people agreeing with us, which, come on, that's not what anyone wants to see. We want people saying, what the hell is that? We want someone saying, like, I missed last week because you had a terrible team the week before. You still thought you'd done well with your points. You wanted to talk about, you'd had a great week. I got more points than you, but you had a great week on a wild card, right? And so instead, we've got this week. So it's good to be back. I moved my camera because I can't see the chat. So sorry if it's a weird angle. I'm a weird person. But no, Shane, look, it's good to be back. Anyone wondering, Shane is going to be constantly buffering today. There was, I don't know the reason why. I think he's obviously in his basement today with some
Scotland.
Well, I was going to say that, but then I thought I'd be good today. I thought, let's go more than 5 minutes without bringing Scotland up.
So no, it's good to be back. I was saying to you, it's been a hectic. Even though we managed to get those videos out, we didn't manage to do team matchups last week. But you know, it's life. Life drops in. It happens. However, we are back. We're back bigger than ever, just like every single week. That's what we say every week. But no, listen, we've got a good show planned today. We're going to go over the scores. We're going to review the games. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of talking points, namely people taking off their shirts for subpar goals. And then getting banned for the foreseeable next game. You've got the Discomfort Zone. I've got Veteran's Vision, which I'm quite excited about. And then we'll come on to the predictions for game week 6 and our teams, mate. So do you know what? We'll just get started. We'll just jump straight in and we'll go straight into the scores. The scores of last week. And like you were saying, maybe that's why I didn't do it the other week, because you got a better score than me. But that's last week. This is this week. I think you might have got a better score this week as well. Just a few highs to the chat. Geddy's there. Wade's here. I'm sure Com will be here soon. Again, thanks very much for joining. Like, share, all that kind of good stuff. And interact. We love a good interact here. Tell me how rubbish my team is, because I'm sick of Kieran doing it. Kieran seems to do it 9 times out of 10. So if someone else told me it was rubbish, I might listen. And it's just a change of voice. But yeah, first we're going to your team. Talk to me. 54 points. Good.
I'm disappointed, right? The reason why I'm disappointed is Lacroix had so many routes to points. He had DEFCON, he had clean sheet, he had attacking potential. They conceded a goal. He missed DEFCON, and he hit the bloody crossbar. So close on everything that when you go for that differential captain, and look, I was watching it on a perfectly legal stream at 3 p.m. Watched that moment, and honestly, having had them concede at that moment, seeing that he was low on DEFCON and he hit the crossbar, I walked out of the establishment where I was watching said legal stream at 3 p.m. So yeah, a bit disappointed by that because weirdly, the person that I did, like my backup was never Haaland, right? I was never going Haaland. Cody Gakpo crossed my mind, but I never really liked it. The one person I was close to captaining was actually Bruno. So I guess there was a little bit of disappointment there. But outside of that, look, I'm in this stage where I'm being forced into the 5-4-1, but I'm liking the 5 at the back, and it's slowly merging into what I want my 5 at the back to be. Loyalty to Saka. I've been playing him every week, even though he's been red flagged. This is the first week where he played and kept bench Jorginho's 5 points. So, look, I wouldn't have played Rutter over Saka if you gave me the chance to again. Even him not been playing against City was enough for me. So, decent score overall. Shocking bench still. Milenkovic still in there. Yeah, look, there's a few things I changed, but not wildcarding has paid off by just having this pretty stable back 5.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I kind of spoil. I played a back 5 as well. Maybe not the best week to choose it because there was only 1 clean sheet, which is frustrating. But you've got the Bournemouth double up.
Was there only 1 or was there 2? I'm sure there was 2.
Was it? I'm sure I looked in. There was only 1. I'll have a double check or put in the chat if I could be. There's a very good real reason I could be wrong.
I could be wrong as well.
Bournemouth. Oh, actually, sorry.
Of course, Newcastle was 0-0.
Yeah. Bournemouth, Newcastle, but yeah, not many people have got Newcastle assets just now. But yeah, I was thinking of you, Kieran. Obviously, everyone knows on this channel anyway. And the intro, I think about you all the time. But yeah, when LaCroix hit that crossbar, I was like, he's gonna be absolutely raging. IBK, thank you very much for joining, pal. Good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. And yeah, Munoz as well. He had a shot that he blooted over the crossbar. And West Ham, when they went 1 up fairly early, I was like, right, West Ham are getting it here. And Crystal Palace just kind of sat in a little bit. And
it was from a corner as well. It was the best thing to see. From a corner going, Lacroix is going to be on one of these. And it's like, to your point, look, I keep saying look. Why do I keep saying look? The final thing I'll say about my team, because there's not much to say about it, but the the recent move towards having double Bournemouth defence, that's 15 points off the team. That's not a bad return from those 2 players. So very happy having the 2 of them in the team. Yeah,
and actually, like I've said, I've had a really, really hectic week. There's like a big cough going around. The whole family's got it. I've got it. It's just life kicked in, mate. And this is the first time I've actually looked at your team, because usually I'll have a wee look and see what moves you've done. That I'm just like, what is he doing? Just like the Rutter move. But yeah, it's a good team. I like it's set up well. And like you're saying, a lot of people wildcarded. I wildcarded early. I think you did as well. You wildcarded early as well.
I've not wildcarded. No, I've still got my wildcard.
Okay, so there you go. So you still got it in the bank. And I think a lot of people pulled the trigger, and we'll come on to this. A lot of people watch content creators, and that's absolutely fine. I might watch the odd one or other few shows, but there's a lot of at the same time pulling the trigger for chips and stuff. And everyone's team's different. And I think there's a little bit too much following in the community going on. But yeah, overall score, mate, it's good. Set up for the future. And yeah, it looks good. And the bench is different. The bench is the bench for a reason, isn't it? If it's rubbish, doesn't matter. It's the players on the team. On to mine. Yeah, you will see that you just beat me by 50 points. And like you as well, I was frustrated. And if we could go back, we'd always make a few changes in hindsight, but I was wrestling with a few changes. So those in the podcast, I've got Petrovic and Senesi for the Bournemouth double up clean sheet, which is good. I had LaCroix, Munoz, who are captained. Pedro Porro, who again is becoming a bit of an issue with 1 pointer. Virgil van Dijk with 4. Verts, talk about issues. He's the biggest issue going. You might as well get a red flag on that guy. Eze popped up with another little assist. I love that he's in the team. And again, my little boy's got him as well. So when he popped up, we loved it and we celebrated together, which was nice. Rogers, well, I'm not even going to discuss that guy. Haaland done what he normally does with a 9. And the old Richie, the old chicken, with a 9 as well, which is good. On the bench, that's a fairly strong bench, actually. Maybe too strong. Vicario 1 point, Gakpo with 2. Never really going to start a double Liverpool against that Burnley. I just didn't feel like they were going to get much of a return. Mark Way, and then we'll come to the Reinders, the 9-pointer. And in hindsight, we spoke actually. I didn't really want to play Haaland, Eze, and Reinders because I felt it would be low scoring, which it was, and it'd be difficult for them all to get a return. But if Haaland scores, who's going to feed him generally? And I know Doco's been playing well and everyone's big on him, but it's really Reinders. And yeah, maybe in hindsight, I should have played him over one of those bums that is. Who's the biggest bum, Kieran? And put in the chat, who's the biggest bum out of Verts and Rogers? Because it's a tussle.
Or third contender, who's the person that picked both of them on their wild card?
Maybe me.
Like, what is
Hindsight's a
it? Like,
wonderful thing.
Shane, like the points here, right? Looking at your back six, including your keeper, I've got 5 of them. Right. Then, sure, your midfield's different to mine, but they got 6 points between 3 of them. Like, what is this? How is this a wild card? What have you done, mate? Like,
I think
oh
at the
dear.
start, I
I'd
went
hate
a
for
bit
Solanke
a
to
little
come
bit
back for
different.
you. That would be terrible if Solanke was back in training right now.
I mean, he could, like, if he is, it doesn't bother him. I think Solanke, until he gets a look in against Richarlison, who seems to play 90 minutes most games, Solanke, I think he's overrated. I generally think he's overrated. And I'm happy I've got Bill Ritchie because their fixtures coming up are very, very good, and he's the focal point to that team. I'd actually like another Spurs attacker, to be honest. I would like Xavi, but he's playing him left, and he's more.
I could understand having this Chaffee or a Kudus or a Richarlison. Like, I think I think you're fine with just one attacker from them.
Yeah, but overall not too bad. We always want more as FPL managers. In hindsight, I probably should have played Reinders, but 50 points, not too bad. I've already wildcarded, so it wasn't bad. We'll come on to it anyway. Bench boost. Stick around, everybody. We'll discuss the bench boost and why people decided to bench boost and again copy content creators because they were doing it in a week where they just wanted rid of it. Insane. I can't work head and tail of it, but you can certainly help me with that. But we've done the scores. Put in the chat what scores you've got and tell us if you beat us. Probably beat us. But yeah, we're on the up. I think I'm about 3 million, 3.1 million. So, we're getting there. Am I ahead of you? Am I still ahead of you?
What do you mean still? You haven't since before you wildcarded. We're close, but you are behind me.
Close. Am I?
Yeah, you're behind me. Wade's top of our league. I'm second, you're third.
Wade. How many points between me and you?
More than between me and Wade.
That does not help me.
Well, look, all I'm going to say is if people want to know and they want to see for themselves, then I'm sure you can share the code to the league for anyone watching to be able to join Shane. Let's not ruin it.
Well, that's it, and we will. That's it, we will. I like that. I like that intersection. It's good. Right. Anyway, let's review. Actually, Gary had 39, and he's about 6 million. Hey, never fear. I'm sure you'll finish the end of the season. They had a good season last season.
Hey, Gary, you're not in our league. Where are you? Join our league so that
join the league.
Join the league.
It looks better if we're, if we're like top 10. We're like, top 10. There's only 12 in the league. Right. Let's discuss the games. I've got a few talking points after this. We need to make that league bigger. Top 10 finish. I'll take that. Right, let's. I've gone for a graphic of them all because I think we can pick out the ones that we want to do. What we'll do is we'll leave the Liverpool, the City to the end. But if we discuss the rest, what's the main one apart from the Liverpool and the City game that you think is most important, or it's the most, most viable moving forward in terms of giving us information?
Just things we can take stuff away from. Look, I'll say it. It was game week 5, right? And if we go back to the pre-season, when Brentford are shit, and from game week 5 onwards, maybe game week 6, but they're going down and they'll be shocking. They lost 3-1 to Fulham, right? So the path is starting, the drop is happening. I think other things we can look at here and just take away from it is Wolves v Leeds. Wolves are shocking. How can you lose at home? You can't be losing at home. That is a game that puts Wolves straight away into the relegation battle, right? Like, you can't be losing 3-1 at home to Leeds. You've got to win your home games against those rivals. Burnley, look, nothing surprising there for me. I think we know that they've only lost one game at home in 40, and that was the game to Liverpool, which was a stoppage time winner. So nothing too shocking in that result. Bournemouth, Newcastle just don't concede away from home. They just set up to shut teams down.
Defensive, didn't they? Yeah.
And what else can we take away? Sunderland better than people think. How can Villa continue to struggle against 10 men? Again, similar. That was a game where saw them go 1-0 up against 10 men and thought, right, finally now they'll push on, get 3 or 4, and people like you, like Watkins owners will finally get rewarded. And then they conceded. So that was a weird one. And then, interestingly, Brighton and Tottenham, I got that score right. I got the Burning Forest one right as well. And I had a little cheeky 50p double on those, which was quite nice. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I think more goals than people expected. But here's something I think wasn't taken into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
The start of the season was 1 game a week. We've had the first week with Cup and European games, and the teams that played in Cup and European games all conceded, except for Bournemouth and Newcastle, right? Newcastle probably surprised me the most in not losing that game, because I thought off the back of a very tough game against Barcelona, they would have fatigue and struggle. So I give them a lot of credit for that. But I think we're going to start to see this where, we've got Forest playing right now. We've got Arsenal playing right now with Saka starting for some reason. We've got Spurs, Newcastle, City all playing. So we're going to start seeing a bit more openness amongst teams. A bit of rotation.
Yeah, a bit of rotation, a bit more openness. I mean, look, you see in there, like you're saying, Europe and more games coming in, or even the Cup midweek. 1 clean sheet. Well, all right, 1 game with clean sheets, and it maybe makes me reconsider the 5 at the back. I don't like playing the 5 at the back anyway, but I like to be more attack manager. But it maybe makes us reconsider the whole DEFCON situation, or maybe picking those 3 solid ones that you want, and then maybe a two on the periphery. But yeah, I think that's moving forward as well. For me, this week especially, kind of looking forward for my team and predictions, I've been looking at the teams who they've played so far, because we've got this perception now that, granted, Wolves are rubbish and they've just been beat by Leeds, but they have had quite a hard start. Same with Sunderland, though. Our perception of them is changing. And there might be someone who said Sunderland might stay up. I don't want to say it too early, because they're probably going to get battered for every single game from now on. But yeah, I think it's definitely it's a huge thing to consider, especially with squads, especially with those 90-minute solid players like Richarlison that you're saying Solanke might come in, but hopefully just get used for the Cup or Europe. But yeah, I think the ones that stand out for me is, I was quite surprised Tottenham conceded away to Brighton. Listen, Brighton are a completely different team, and they home and away that they're pretty lackluster and quite blunt, but at home really good. Beat City the other week. They were 2-0 up in this game, so they were 2-0 up in there. I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah, they came out the blocks really fast in this game, and they needed to, because again, we're going to start seeing like how it's going to be an interesting season watching how Thomas Frank sets up for different games, because there's the way that he used to set up at Brentford, but he now has, unfortunately, up to level in the quality of the players. So I don't think Brentford would have gone 2-0 down in that game, because he would have been more conservative with the players. I think with the players he has at Spurs, it's going to happen from time to time. They're going to go behind pretty early and have to find a new way to get back into games.
Yeah, that's it. Arias, he's in the building. Calm, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Hope he's, let us know. Hope you're a little bit more, better. You've recovered. I think you might have passed on to my family, because I think I've got whatever you had. But it's great to see you. Great to see everyone else in the chat. Yeah, the other ones that would stick out is Wolves. There's a lot of pressure on them, especially at home. They're not playing the best, but yeah, 3-1 at home to Leeds. Like you're saying, you're getting battered by another relegation team at home. He's just signed a new 4-year contract. They might have pulled the trigger a little bit quick on this one. What is it? If you're giving someone even like an extension of 2-year contract, okay, in reality, what are contracts? Look at Ten Hag. What, did he play 2 games and then he got let go? So, all right, contracts aren't as important as what we think, but it's just not a good look. It's not good from the board to invest in this individual, and he's lost every single game. I do think they will pick up a little bit, and actually that other striker, that Akraderi, I quite like him up next to Strand Larson. I think they will score goals now. I think they will pick over, the next 4 or 5 games. They've got a decent run. But yeah, that was certainly a shock. The Palace game as well, but playing double Palace defence, and yeah, I kind of expected West Ham to score, but I expected them to push on. I really did, and I expected, once that early goal goes in against West Ham, the pressure's building against Potter, and it builds, and then they tighten up, and they don't play as well as they should. Elsewhere, like you're saying, Burnley 1-1 with Forest. I actually watched the highlights. Anyone could have won that. Actually, could have went either way, so it was quite difficult. Forest. I'm going to say something here, and it might be big. I think Ange gets sacked before the end of the season. I really think he does. I don't think he can play the system that he wants to play with those players. I don't think he has.
No, but they can't sack him because he always wins something in the second season, and they'll need him to win the championship.
Burn! I like that. I like that. Elsewhere, yeah, Fulham. Do you know what? I think it was a bit harsh on Brentford. Okay, they're not the best at the back, but I think, would you concede that he is a better manager than what people have thought? He's pre-season and the start of the season. He's played a 3 at the back, a 4 at the back, a 5 at the back, and he's quite an adaptable manager. Whereas, like Ange, he plays one way. He plays one way and that's it. So it'll still be tough for them to stay up, but I think they've got enough to stay up. I think they've got enough within that
Brentford
squad to stay. Yeah, I do. I think
who do they have in the squad? That's good.
Well, if you want, the Scottish superstar Aaron Hickey, who scored. Should I name anybody else?
Well, there we are, the Scottish superstar. When's the last time Scotland did anything good football-wise?
Actually, Scott McTominay finished ahead of Bruno Fernandes and Ballon d'Or. That's all I've got to say about that.
Right, but he doesn't play for Brentford either, does he? It's fine. Aaron Hickey is who you're going to say is the reason Brentford.
No.
They've got an adaptable manager, but you know why he's adaptable? Because he doesn't know what his system is, because he doesn't have one. He's never been a manager. People can say what they want about Amarim being too stubborn to his system, but he's got one. This guy is going to keep playing around until he gets it right, gets a result, and go, sweet, we'll try that again next week. Like, nah.
Yeah, see, I don't think you give enough credit. I think he's done all right for the opening set. I mean, all right, Fulham's not the best and not the best team, but they're fairly solid at home. I don't think we're giving them enough credit. Honestly, we don't. I think they've got enough in the team to go forward. I think.
But here's the thing.
Anyway,
before we move on, start of the season. If I said to you that their first 5 fixtures are Forest away, Villa at home, Sunderland away, Chelsea at home, Fulham away, you wouldn't have expected them to lose to Sunderland, would you? Like, you can't lose to Sunderland. You can't get battered by Fulham. Like, you can't be that bad. Like, they've lost every game away from home.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the best team around. I think just like kind of last season, there'll be 3 worse teams now. Do you know what I mean? I think they've got enough leaders in the pitch. I think they've got enough coming back in defence for
next 4. Next 4 for them. City at home, United at home, City at home, West Ham away, Liverpool at home.
That's a must-win West Ham. Yeah, it's a difficult situation.
So they could be on 4 points at the end of 9 games now.
Yeah, that's all right. Remember, you got Wolves and Aston Villa. You got Wolves and West Ham under. So there's 2 spots. There's just one more spot for a grab.
Yeah, but those like West Ham will change their manager.
Yeah. Again, by the way. And actually, do you know what? While we're on that subject, Kieran, let's discuss that. I remember when Davy Moyes was manager, and they didn't want the football. They didn't want that football, the one route, the unsexy football. Well, look at what's happened now. And it's funny that the fans are coming out. And again, we're all reactive as fans, but it's funny they're coming out now and saying they want the manager gone now. They don't want that style of football. All this stuff against the board, Karen Brady and stuff. And listen, I'm not a West Ham fan. There's more to it. But I think the moral of the story is be careful what you wish for, because it might not be as rosy as the season before or the season before that. Anyway, that's my guidance for the night. Let's go on to another point. Ekitike. When I heard he got sent off for a goal, and all right, he's at Anfield, I thought, I tell you what, this goal must be a screamer. It must be a Scott McTominay type screamer. I said it. A Scott McTominay type screamer. And I seen it. And what's he doing? What is he doing? It's literally a tap-in. And he takes his shirt off like he's done a Messi from the halfway line, gone past 6 players and dabbed at top bags. I think his emotions, like I put up there, his emotions did get the better of him. He's only a young lad, so We'll let him off. I think the short rule, a yellow card now, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think
No,
they
it's
should
not.
change it. I
No.
think it's ridiculous.
Look, Shane, do you know what is ridiculous? Liverpool fans, left, right, and centre, all over Twitter, being obsessed with Arsenal once again. They're going, look at Arsenal celebrating a goal when they got an equaliser at home to Everton. Who'd do that? Your fucking new signing took his shirt off for beating a shit team in a shit cup. Like, shut up now. Shut up, Liverpool fans. You're done. Ekitike's destroyed you. Your player took his shirt off for scoring against lower league opposition in the worst competition he plays in. Like, shut up about celebrating now. Just, you're done. You're done, Liverpool fans. It's game over.
Yeah, and unfortunately that bans him. So that, opens the door to Isaac. I think some people already moved for Isaac. He will play now. I know he's still getting a little bit of fitness back, but he will play now. Some people have moved early. I've not yet. I mean, I've got the transfers and I've got the money, so I could move. But I'm just taking my time. This year, in terms of value, mate, for me, there's always a player that we want, and for me, the Salah Haaland combining draft is, I think it's a ridiculous idea. So I'm not going to do it. So I'm pretty, everyone's pretty flush for money. No one's really tight, and there's always options. You've got those cheaper options. Those Andersons in the middle, whatever. So for me, I'm not going to get him. Are you considering getting Isaac like now or slowly in the future?
No, not a chance.
No Isaac at all. No? Why? Is that just because you're not sure he's going to play, or what, in the system, or what?
Yeah, like we haven't seen him play for Liverpool. Fine, look, Ekitike did something stupid there. He's not going to be punished by being out of the team when he's been scoring pretty much every game. Isaac has to earn his spot in there. Both these players haven't been signed for this season, and there's lots of competitions to play. There's going to be rotation, and when you have two strikers that are worth like 80 to 150 mil each, you're going to play both of them at different times. So I don't know which one of them is going to be needed in Champions League. I don't know which one's going to be preferred in the league. I'm not spending that kind of money on Isaac when at the moment everything tells us that strikers just aren't players you want to invest in your money-wise. Instead, you want your money in like your midfield and your defence and Haaland. So nah, I'm good without him.
Yeah, no, it's quite good. I mean, I don't feel like I'm falling behind the crowd or anything. I want to see. I keep this niggling thing for me though. I always think that. Do you not think Ekitike is going to maybe start left? I know Gagbo had a fairly decent opening, but he is quite hot and cold. I could see him starting on the left, Ekitike. Do you not reckon?
He could for some games, but like not for 90 minutes, right? And but that's the point. On the left, he's got competition. In the middle, he's got competition. Right now, do you want to be investing lots of money into attackers that have lots of competition? Do you want to be... Let's remind ourselves as well that Liverpool have very good players, but every game they've needed stoppage time, either in their favour, giving them plenty of minutes to get the win, or, apart from the Arsenal game, or in their favour, somehow against Everton, having the least amount of stoppage times in a second half in any Premier League game this season. This season, nothing happened in that second half at all. There were no subs, no one was down for too long, no one was time wasting. Like, mental.
Yeah, it's mad. Get his put up. Yeah, he punched the ball away. Yeah, I mean, he's only young. I don't really like the take your shot off and you get a yellow card unless you had something on it like a message or something.
If it's a rule, you know not to take your shirt off, right? Like regardless of anything, you can think it's stupid, but as a player, if you've been booked and you take your shirt off, then you're just stupid.
Yeah,
I mean the quote says.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I do like grassroots refereeing and refereeing a game last night, and a lad scored straight from the kickoff. He didn't take his shirt off or anything, but you know what I mean. Like, it's definitely grassroots anyway. But if he did, or if it was like a semi-pro game, I'd maybe try and overlook that. Do you know what I mean? If someone scores a screamer, you wouldn't be there with them. But
that's the whole.
And he's got like a red shirt on anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but it's worth it. It's worth it when you score a screamer to take the yellow card, right? It's worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to get your second yellow card for scoring a winner against a shit team in a shit competition. That is just
standard Did you see it? Yeah, it was like it was just a tap in, a simple cross along the front and then a tap in. So yeah, and then he holds it up
No,
like
I'm
Messi.
sorry. Like
He's got a bit
it's
wrong, but I kind of
great
like the
footballer,
talking point.
great footballer, but like just look at his hair, for example. He doesn't make the smartest decisions.
He's only young. Commons put slot does like Gagbo. Yeah, he does. And I'm glad I've still got him. Virtue's coming out, by the way, newsflash anyway. But I think I'm going to keep Gagbo because he's playing for a few game weeks, so I think he could probably be on this week, and I'll probably play him actually. But anyway, we'll come to the next point. Is talk about Liverpool is Haaland. Listen, there's a lot of people moving from the Salah draft to the Haaland draft, and he came off a little bit early. Didn't play in the cup. I don't think he was going to play in the cup anyway. But if I was triple captain him this week, which I'm not, I would be a little bit worried. Would you not? Because say they're 2 up or 3 up, you're probably going to take him off early, right?
What against Burnley?
Yeah, I mean the other day, and some people have said like, oh, look, it's him playing mind games and stuff like that. I don't think it is because he did seem quite tired the other day, and he was kind of flagging. He did kind of signal to the bench. I don't think he's injured.
It's a different game, right? Like he was the person clearing every single corner that Arsenal had, and then sprinting up to the other end of the pitch. Like that was probably one of the furthest he's run in a game for a long time against very physical players. Like you run past Arsenal players, but they will let you know that they're there. They're a very physical group. I've seen criticism of the midfield three that Arteta selected for that game, and I think that he showed too much respect to what he thought Rodri, Reinders, and Silva could do. But I think he just didn't want to lose that midfield battle, and I think he wanted that physicality. But this is Haaland's worst start to a Premier League season. It's his worst. He has the least amount of attacking returns, and he has 6 goals in 5 game weeks. He knows that.
Yes.
And he is a selfish player that wants records, that wants the golden boot that he lost last year because he was injured. He would have been up there again if he hadn't missed all those games. He came back with a vengeance, and there was a period where it was bang, 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 bang. And he knows these are the games where he stat pads, where he takes every single bloody shot. And fine, Burnley might sit back, but it's worth remembering Burnley away from home, and this is true for certain teams at their level. At home, your fans make a massive difference. They give you so much energy to keep going and to throw your body on the line on every tackle. You have some of them away, but the number that you'll have away from home will be hard to hear amongst the City fans. And it's a lot harder to keep that level up for 90 minutes. They've conceded 3 to Spurs away. They've conceded 3 to United away. They're now playing City, who, if City score 3 goals early, you're right, Haaland might come off because he's got a first half hat trick. But if he's got a first half hat trick, he won't want to come off. He'll want to do what he did for Norway. For Norway, he should have come off, right? But he stayed on and kept scoring because he didn't want to come off. And that was against a weak team as well. So, no, I think Haaland sees this as his year to... He's running out of years to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. And where did he finish with the Ballon d'Or? Like, I take Ballon d'Or.
Low. Gyökeres was a high striker in 15th. Yeah, Gyökeres was a high striker in 15th. So...
I don't know how to work it out. And there were some players up there that you were like, what? Where was Cole Palmer? Cole Palmer was up there, wasn't he? He was in the top 10 or top 5 or something. He's hardly scored a goal since January. I don't know how they work it out, but yeah, the game against Arsenal was good. On that, by the way, I forgot to ask you, do you think, my opinion is, I think Arteta bottled it not playing Eze. And why didn't he play Eze up against Kusanov? Did you see 5 minutes in, he literally bundled Trossard over, manhandled him. I just thought Eze would have him absolutely on toast. I get the Saka thing because he's come back.
He wouldn't. He wants Eze more through the middle, right? Eze makes sense through the middle. There was arguments to start Martinelli out wide in that game, but with what he was having to start with Madueke, there was going to be vulnerability there. He wanted someone more defensively minded like Trossard, because what Trossard allows is Calafiori to cut in more and be that inverted fullback.
Yeah.
So it was more a case of that, like, if he was going to start, he would have started over a Mikel Merino. But again, we know what Rodri is capable of. It's worth remembering that Marino is one of the top dual winners in world football for the last 5 years. Declan Rice is like number 1 or 2 for the second ball recovery. So like if you don't win the first. So those two made sense in there. And Zubamendi's the defensive one. Like I've heard people say, oh, he played with 3 defensive midfielders. Marino plays attacking for Spain and scored a hat-trick for them in the break, right? Mikel Marino is not a defensive midfielder. He is a 6/8 that pivots. So is Declan Rice now. You know, Declan Rice is not a defensive midfielder anymore. That's why Zubamendi's in. That's why Norgard's the backup. So, yeah, it wasn't as attacking. And I would have liked to see more. But I think the concerns were that when you have too many of those new players going up a bit more stability in Pep, he was probably concerned that Pep could outsmart him. So I think there was a bit too much respect shown given we were at home. But
and their team as well. You look at their back line now, honestly, and I go, they're there for the taking.
Kusanov maybe. Kusanov maybe. I agree with on the Kusanov one, and I think if he knew Kusanov would be starting, and no one thought Kusanov would be right back. No one would have seen that coming.
I don't know.
Even when I saw the lineup, I thought surely Gvardiol's playing left back and O'Reilly's playing, or like some Nunes or someone plays right back. Right, so I was surprised when in the game he actually was there, and I imagine even if Arteta got the league, he would have thought that too, and maybe would have started Martinelli or maybe would have started Eze. But he also knows that Martinelli is a player you want to bring on for that explosion, for hitting on the break, whether you're 1-0 up or 1-0 down. Especially if you're 1-0 up and City are putting you under pressure, you want Martinelli off the bench to have those quick breakaways. Surprised we managed to do it when they were 1-0 up. That's what surprised me. Like City went to a back 5 and we hit them on the break through Martinelli, and that's just wow. That they should never have allowed that to happen.
I just thought it was a wee bit of an opportunity lost. Listen, it's still a tough game. It doesn't really matter too much who City play, but I just thought it was a wee bit of an opportunity lost. But yeah, for me, I've got Haaland. I'm not going to triple captain him. I will captain him, obviously, but I'm not going to triple captain him. I'd like to use it in a midfielder. There's way more upside. And listen, he might score a hat trick, and that's still good. But I think, I'd like to take a little bit of punt on a midfielder for that. But yeah, I think we covered that. Right, the other one is bench boost. Right, I said this earlier. Right, I did not understand either content creators or people copying content creators. And listen, people can say what they want, or like if. I don't think I see many people previous to that or had a squad good enough that thought, right, you might bench boost. It all seemed when maybe 2 days before when a content creator was like, yeah, I'm going to bench boost. And there was a lot of content creators, by the way, that bench boosted at the same time. Why do you think that is, mate? Because generally, I looked at the sides and I was like, that isn't optimal. All right, okay, some of the players got 4. Brilliant. I don't get it.
There's some value in it. Like what I will say first of all to defend them and explain the reasoning that isn't their reasoning. Okay, so the key thing for me that I think people need to realize is if you don't bench boost super early in the season, then you naturally are going to start using transfers to improve a bench for the bench boost. Now, if you calculate each of those transfers you use, because you've only got a finite number of transfers in a season, if you calculate them as each being worth 4 points, then sometimes to set up the perfect bench boost, you end up using 3 transfers in that period. You're like 3 transfers in a row that are free ones.
Yeah.
And then you've got to move off of them, right? So whilst that perfect bench boost got me 25 points, right, but you've used 6 transfers to get them in and out, which is, in theory, like 24 of those, because you could have used that on the rest of your team. So that's the logic for why it doesn't have to look that great. If it looks like it's like, if you've got 2 benching headaches and a keeper 50-50, then it's worth playing it, in my opinion. But the reason why they played it is because Solio and Review would have told them in the next 10 weeks, this is the best time. Now, that's why I'm explaining the logic. The reason why Solio says this is the best time is it then says, because even though you're not going to score that many points, it's then gone and you can use your transfers to attack the fixtures ahead. I agree with that logic, but I also think to your point,
you should
you
still do
can
both
wait,
to
and
a
as you've
striker.
made transfers,
Yeah.
I'm not. We've seen my bench. I'm not trying to improve my bench at the moment. I'm fine with Rutter being my final man, right? But naturally, at one point, as we get closer to Christmas and stuff like that, I'll go, right, there might be a bit more rotation and make a few different moves here and there. And that could then be the perfect week for me just to go, oh, right, this looks okay to do it. So, the reason why loads of them did it is because they are the ones that tend to put a lot of weight onto review. But they got what you get if you all do it, really, for once. And I think this is a season where if you follow the crowd, you're probably going to follow them off a cliff.
Yeah, well, then that's what comments put in there. Exactly, like sheep. I've seen a lot of sheep activity, and listen, that's fine if that's how you play the game. I don't want to go too into it because it's a little bit my veteran's vision, but yeah, I think there was quite a lot of bit of copying. Gary loves a good little solo or a little review. I tell you that. Nick as well. I think Nick's bench boosted as well because they were talking about, oh yeah, Reinders on the bench. Listen, that's great. He got 9 points. But if you ask somebody pre-game week, Reinders against Arsenal, do you know what I mean? That it's not it wasn't a very, very good bench boost. But I just thought I'd bring it up because I've seen a bit too much of that this year. I just like playing myself. Excuse me. If you're not going to play yourself, just get AI to run your team. Or I should do that because probably get a better score. But yeah, so I mean, we covered that again. I'll come to that in the section. Right. Do you like this graphic, boy? What do you think of this graphic?
Weird. That is a very weird graphic, mate.
Well, it kind of looks like he's on a toilet a little bit. I need to shave it a little bit. I was going to get a wee bit longer hair, but you've got shorter hair now. Do you know what I mean? So I have to get like a picture of you and scan it in and put it in his head. But listen, what I'll do is I'll give you the floor, mate, and I'll let you do your FPL discomfort piece.
Okay, well, look, it's just a quick one for me, but it's there's my voice going. It's something that I find quite funny at the moment, and that we have seen at the start of the season. We're 5 game weeks in, right? It's super early into it, and it's one that I've discussed in a couple of group chats. But what I find interesting is if we have a look right now, I'm saying right now, and there it is. Let's get rid of the adverts as they appear. If we look right now at XG for players so far through the season, we can see Haaland's top right. And what we'll do is make it full screen just so everyone can see. Now, if we change it to the XG difference in terms of who's been overperforming, we've got some good ones in there. Isidore, Zuba, Mendy. He was only expected to score 0.34 and he's got 2. And if we turn it the other way around, then we start to see some players in the top 10 here. Amad Diallo at Man United. Cunha at Man United. And that's very weird because he was there yesterday, so I don't know how he's now moved. He must be 11, but there's Mbumo at 11th place. How's he changed there? There must have been a quick change on Semenyo's. Now, if we change this to the season before, and remember those players of Diallo, Cunha, and Mbumo, and we now look at the biggest overperformers of it, we get Mbumo, Cunha, and Diallo in 6. So what I think we're seeing at the moment is we know, Shane, that Man United are creating the most chances and Mbumo's having the most touches in the box. But what made them both really good for their teams in Brentford and Wolves, and 2 teams that are struggling right now, was their ability to score goals from range, from not having the best opportunities. And now they're in a situation where having the better opportunities. And in theory, United should be doing better. I think we're going to see a weird thing happen where, unfortunately, inevitably, we will see the manager go and be fired. And we will see an immediate bounce because the new manager will come in to good run of fixtures and players who are capable of overperforming their expected goals, just getting back to on par with it. Like if United were just on par, then they'd be in a better position. And I thought that they'd be in a good position towards the end of the season. I'm still seeing the ingredients there. But it's why when you're asking me, Isak, etc., you've got to have a consideration from Mbumo and Cunha. And I think that is something that I'm quite uncomfortable about considering. But I think after the next two managers next two games, and maybe with a different manager, we might start seeing ourselves need United players again.
I like it. United players, eh? It's funny because I've also been thinking of a little bit of United players, even though people think I hate them, like Gary and Com. And no, yeah, maybe I do hate them a little bit. I don't let that cloud my mind, my judgment. So do you think he's going? Do you think he's getting sacked before this international break or in the next international break? He's gone.
I think it's ticking, right? I think at the moment the clock's ticking on him. I think the result against Chelsea was very good, and I didn't find it overly surprising because I thought being at home and Chelsea coming off the back of Europe, they did have a good opportunity for that. I think the real test will be the must-win fixtures, the easier fixtures. I think if he messes up on any of those, then probably they'll have to make the decision. The question is, who do they bring in? And will it be someone like Gareth Southgate, in which case, who knows what happens?
Well, there's someone else in the market right now. Second coming of Ten Hag.
Ten Hag is not taking another job. When he took the last job, he had to forfeit all of his severance pay from Liverpool. Like, all of that money you're paid off, if you take a new job, you've got to pay it back. Like, you don't get that. That's if you're just not working for the remainder of your contract. He's now got a massive one. And actually, his home team came to him and said, "We've got an open job. Do you want to be manager?" He was like, "Nope, not happening. I am having a holiday for a couple of years and keeping my money."
Yeah, well, quite right. Geddy's put up there. He says, jumping in the United. If we lose to Brentford, I'd sack him. His system is too rigid. I agree with you, Geddy. I think he's a bit Ange Mark too. He only plays one way. If he doesn't have the players to play it, I don't think he has much adaptability. So yeah, I think you're right, and I think you could be onto something. I have had a little look at Mbeumo more than Cunha, but yeah, definitely Mbeumo and what I've seen from him in the highlights, it does look good. So maybe not this week, but definitely in the weeks coming, we will have a little look. Right, what do you think of this picture? Do you like the vest?
What?
He's gobsmacked.
There's a reason why like AI shouldn't be available for everyone.
Not everybody should be allowed to use AI. I didn't think that was too bad. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like the vest. I didn't think that was too bad. I thought the hair was good. I thought the hair wasn't bad.
You've given yourself a strong beard there, haven't you? You've clearly put into the prompt strong ginger beard.
Strong beard. No, I did
beard
actually
must
put
be
in, like,
strong like
hair.
I am. I'm a way strong Scottish lad with a strong ginger beard, strong arms. Make sure my arms are unsure.
Yeah, I did say the hair. I just said Scottish, so obviously that's why he's made me a bit ginger, which I'm actually not quite ginger. And his column says freedom. Like it. I like it. Right, quite like Kieran's. Mine's going to be a little bit short, so we'll come on to predictions and the game week 6 scores coming up. But for me, I think there's two small things that I want to say. One is when we spoke, Kieran, I love coming on here. I love coming on. I love chatting with Kieran, chatting our teams, what's coming up for the week, and everybody engaging it. Absolutely love it. I look forward to every single week, and I quite find some solace in it. So, first thing probably from me is thank you to everybody. Like we said before as well, we've had a really uptick in the videos, people watching, just views in general. So thank you very, very much for coming on, because it definitely makes my week. I know it makes Kieran's week, especially to slate my team. And if that makes him happy, he can do that. That's fine. The second one we've touched on as well is how we play FPL. Now, listen, everyone plays different. Everyone finds the enjoyment different. However, for me, I think there's only one way to play it, and it's by yourself. If you're copying Solio, if you're copying Review, if, like Com said, you're being a sheep and just copying everybody on the bench boost, what is the damn point? I don't understand it. And yes, I know everyone gets enjoyment out of different things, but the main enjoyment comes from when we have a look at a differential player we think we believe in them all week. Usually for me, he's a Scottish player. We believe in him all week. And then finally he pops up and we can say at the end of the week, yes, I brought that differential in. Granted, we probably got less points than what everybody else got, but we brought that individual in and we were right. And everybody likes to be right to a certain extent. So what we'd say is play it how you like to play it for the enjoyability, but don't be a sheep and play the game yourself. Kieran. That was good. That was like a kind of nationalist. That was like another another vote to leave, really, wasn't it? It was quite what we need to find. I didn't have time today, but I'm going to find some music for the next few times. A bit of kind of gladiator-esque in the background for yours and mine, just to emphasize the point, just to corral people, you know. Right, okay, so that's them done. Let's jump on to predictions and scores. What I've done is I've gone back and I've looked at all our predictions, okay? And this is the set. And what I've done is I've done 5 points for a correct outcome and then a 15 point for a correct score.
There we are. That's what we needed, Shane.
Shut off. This is what we need to do. Play the game by yourself.
The template is a template for a reason.
You know what? I need to. I get. Most people probably know Nightmare on here. Definitely bigger than us. A lot better. So if you're not checked him out, definitely go check him out. But he's very good at that. And it's funny how just a little bit of music.
Hey, what's this right now? Hang on.
Everything's so good.
Shane, we've only had 2 weeks of predicting scores, and you're 30 points ahead of me. You're claiming?
No, we've had 4. We've had 4.
And you're 30. How many points are you giving out here for certain predictions?
So,
I'm gonna have to see the admin here.
So I have the evidence. Don't worry, I've got the receipt. So it's £5 for correct. £5, Jesus! It's 5 points for a correct outcome and 15 for a correct score. So you are actually
right.
ahead.
So you've got 6 more correct outcomes than me because we've got the same amount of correct scores.
So in game week 3, let me just double check this. I've got the receipts right here, my friend. On game week 3, you had a stinker. I think you got 1. No, you got 2. You got 2 out of 10. And that's why I'm telling you to play the game. Think for yourself. Yeah, you had a nightmare in game week 3. You got 2 predictions right. So that's why before that, you were ahead by quite a bit, actually. Anyway,
I'll start playing properly again. I'll start playing properly.
Yeah,
this is
starting
why.
From. Do you know what? You know when you're kids, you like starting from now. Starting from now. Go,
guys. We're pulling back the curtains, and Shane messaged me earlier, and he went, "Can you send me your predictions for the game with scores?" I went, Shane, we do this on the show. Like he was trying to pressurize me into going early. He wanted to attack my vulnerability here. He wanted to go all out. And I tell you what, Shane, this is... Oh, wait. That wasn't meant to happen. I thought this would be motivational music still, but it's gone on to the song now. Missed out on that opportunity. No, come on then. Let's get on to these scores. Let's keep this moving along.
Let's do them. And again, in the chat... Go on.
All right, I was going to do it this time, but fine. Like you said, in the chat... No, I'm not playing. I'm done.
No, I'm done. Go on. I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah, look, you lot, when we say a game, type your score as well.
Hey, just because you're getting beat, don't you know what I mean? Right, yeah, okay.
I don't like losing. I'm an awful loser.
I hate losing. I absolutely hate it.
Do you know what? Whether or not this is right, Shane, I used to ask people in interview as a manager. It was more so I knew how to manage them, but I'd say, do you love to win or do you hate to lose? And I tell them there's no wrong answer. And when they go, I love to win, I'd go, loser. Like I always do. It's normal for me, guys. I just hate losing. But,
it's like a David. It's like a David Brent interview, isn't it? At the start. Right. Okay. Let's start with the early game. Brentford, Man United. I don't really like to have many players from the early game with the curse and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that just applies to the captaincy. But what do you think to this game, the early game? And by the way, I just want to say I'm loving this new game set out on Sunday. On Saturday. It's just football all day. Love it. Early game, loads at 3 o'clock, 1 at 5:30, 1 at 8 o'clock. Keep that up, Premier League. But yeah, Brentford United, talk to me. I know you hate Brentford. So I know you love it.
Yeah, Brentford will lose. Yeah. The thing is, Brentford should lose. If Brentford get anything out of this game, then No, but like's been said, if Brentford get anything from this game, then Amorim is gone and someone gets a nice easy game against Sunderland. I think it won't happen though, so I will go with a did Brentford score? Who can score for Brentford? 2-0. 2-0 United.
2-0 United, eh? I'll have to take it off full screen because I really want to see what Geddy and everyone is playing.
Oh, I can put those in, Shane. I'll do those. You keep it full screen and I'll just fire in.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So what's Geddy going for? 3-1. 3-1, eh? 2-1 United. Yeah.
Hang on. You want everyone else's score before you give your own as well? Okay, I see how this is. Jesus.
This is how the game
It's not Shane's prediction. It's Shane takes an average of everyone else.
He takes an average, yeah. Wait a minute. Let me calculate this. No, I think we've got that factor. Listen, United have been underperforming in terms of goals, like you said, you put up there. And I think they do win. I think Amorim gets another stay of execution. It is close, but I go for a 2-1. I think Brentford still score. I think there's still an issue with United, especially at the back. So I'll go 2-1. Just like Jackie.
By the way, Sadek's done the best transfer I've ever seen in FPL. Sadek sold one player in Bruno and got Salah and Haaland in. What a move. Well done, Sadek. You broke the game. Boom. Smashed it and then followed it up with a 4-1 United. That's how you enter the stream. Not a hello.
Oh. Is he Sadek? Put in the chat, mate, and see if you're a United fan, because it's always interesting. Listen, I don't support any team in the Prem, so I think it's good that I don't have that bias. But yeah, let us know if you're a United fan. Right, on to the 3 o'clocks. And I like at least 4 3 o'clock kickoffs. You know that? You know, if there's like 2, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch and I'll listen, but I'm like, I could do some stuff around the house at that time. Do you know what I mean? Listen, but there's 4. There's quite a bumper. You got Liverpool in there. You got City in there. I'll start with the first one. Chelsea, Brighton. What do you think? What do we think? It's me first, actually. So what do I think? I'll tell you what I think. I don't know, it's a difficult one. Brighton, they're a bit of Jekyll and Hyde, aren't they? Home and away. Chelsea fairly strong. Do you know what? I looked at Chelsea squad the other day and I just in the cup and I was like, wait a minute, is this Chelsea side? It had like Buonanotte, it had Gittins. I was just like, it just did not look like Chelsea at all. It's quite a tough one. I think Chelsea sometimes do get caught out with the rotation. I think he's going a bit extreme with the rotation. In the cup, that's fine. But he's continually changing like the back 2 quite often. They've got a fantastic midfield. I think they do still edge it out, but I think it is close. And I go for actually a little bit of a boring 1-0. I think Brighton are going to try and stop conceding many goals away from home, and I go for a 1-0 at the bridge, mate. What about yourself?
2-1 Chelsea for me.
2-1 Chelsea.
Much more than that. I just think Chelsea 2-1. In the chat, we have got 2-1 from Geddy to Chelsea, and we've got a 3-1 from Colm. Right, next up, Palace v Liverpool. I'll take this one first as Jackie comes in with a 2-1 for the Chelsea Brighton. Palace v Liverpool. Liverpool's luck runs out and they have their first dropped points of the season. I'm not sure if they drop 2 or if they drop 3. But thinking with my head is boring, so we're going 2-1 Palace.
I like it, mate. I like it. Do you know what? Everyone's all over Palace this season, and for good reason, especially at the back, defenders. They've had a little bit of an easiest run, and I think they've got a bit of an inability to shut off games, especially the game against West Ham. Didn't really shut that off. Kept the door open. All right, you're away from home. I completely understand that, but maybe more the reason to shut that game off. At home, you know, they drew 0-0 with Sunderland. Okay, Sunderland, listen, they had a lot of people behind the ball, but they didn't find that breakthrough. And actually, in at first thought, I thought it would be very close. I thought maybe be a draw, but I don't. I really don't. I think Isaac will make an impact. Funnily enough, if he does start Wirtz, I think that helps him that Isaac's there. Just, I don't think Ekitiki's making the runs that he needs to play him through. I think it's quite a strong win for Liverpool. Do they concede? I think they still do because they've got issues at the back. So I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool. I just like those apples.
All right.
Right.
In the chat, we have got a 1-0 Liverpool from Colm, a
Yeah.
draw from Sadek. We have
Desmond
got a
Sadek, naughty.
2-1 Liverpool from Jackie. And we've got Sadek with Salah
Do you know-
scoring twice, Geddy with a late 95th minute goal, and Sadek's Munoz is going to score 2 goals as well.
Oh, yeah, well, he should have done that last week when I captained him. It's quite funny you say that. All these people who are like, oh yeah, but Salah's been fantastic. No dramas. Why are you not captaining him? Why are you getting Haaland in? If you're confident in him, you're confident in Salah. He's done his point. He's got some points so far. I can't argue with that. Actually, I think it's quite funny. I think he will actually get a bit of return in this game. I really do, and a lot of people have moved off him. But yes. Anyway, Leeds Bournemouth. Now this is quite an interesting one. After Leeds actually scored a goal last week, they scored 3 in fact. I'm on. You're on this one first. Or am I on this first? I'm on this first. I think.
Yeah.
I still think it's quite a dominating from Bournemouth. Ariel is a fantastic manager, especially away from home. He always sets up very, very well. Do I think Leeds are going to score is the question. I don't. I think it'd be quite. I think this is going to bring Leeds back down to earth a little bit. I'm kind of wrestling between 2 and 3-0. Do you know what? I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go back down to earth with a bump for Leeds and a bit of a Bournemouth smashing, actually.
Cool. We'll just add back in here PVR Paul van Rensburg with Munoz assist and Mateta goal. Salah with 2 goals for 2-1 Liverpool. All right. So for this Leeds v Bournemouth, I think it's an open game. I think it's a very open game. I think Leeds like to attack in these type of games. I think Bournemouth they'll enjoy it as well. I think it'll be end to end, blow to blow, with Bournemouth coming out on top in what could be one of the highest scoring games of the weekend. It's a shame that it's at 3:00, but no one would watch it if it wasn't. I'd replace the Forest game with the Leeds game if I was redoing the TV schedule.
Yes. Yep.
And I reckon it'll be 3-2 Bournemouth. Sadek has gone for it. Yeah, I do. I just think Leeds will just attack. Sadek's gone with a 2-2 draw. Leeds and Bournemouth. Colm, Captain Fizzy Water, like me last game week, unlucky.
Very unlucky. Very unlucky.
IBK with a 1-1 as well.
Wow.
And it leads 2-1 for Jackie.
Oh,
and then
go on,
with
Jackie. Desmond. I'm quite happy. I think people think they'd be close. I think this will be a bit of a battering, actually. Like I'm saying, I think Bournemouth will come on top. Anywho, let's move on. Man City Burnley.
All right. This is me then. So I think this will be the highest scoring game of the week. And I think City score 6. So yeah, I'm just going to go straight in there and go 6-0 City.
6-0 City. It's funny, I'm not far off, actually. Listen, I don't think we need to go into detail. I was thinking maybe be a 2, but listen, City are at home. They have found it hard to break teams down, especially maybe low block and getting that vital ball through. But yeah, I think they're in a little bit of a groove now. I think this is probably the game that, like, Foden, I know he started tonight, but yeah, I bet you Foden probably starts and bangs like 2 goals and 2 assists or something. But yeah, I'm not far off you, mate. I've gone 5-0 City. Hopefully Haaland gets 2 or 3 of them. But I'm still not going to triple captain. Just a little bit too much doubt in there. Yeah, IBK's gone 4, so I think everyone's in agreement that they are going to.
Colm with 3-0, Geddy with 4-0, Sadek with 4-0,
yes.
Jackie with 3-0.
Yes.
And I was going to say, interesting that we're all going with 0 here. Maybe the Donnarumma effect, making that difference. But then PVR's come in with the 4-1 to just remind us that City are capable of just letting in a goal for no reason.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see it. Like we're saying, the defence isn't the best. Right, Forest, Sunderland. Talk about a bore game. You've put on at 5:30. I mean, this is tea time. I don't even think I'll be putting this. I don't even think I'll put this on. I think the game last week, anyway, the Burnley Nottingham Forest. I was listening in the car, turned it off. It was that bad. So yeah, it's difficult. It's me first. I think Ange. He's not under pressure already. He's just taken over the job. But I think he puts himself under pressure. And I think he'll go out and he'll play his attacking football in here. And I think they're going to get caught out. I really do. I don't see Forest winning. I think either a draw or a win for Sunderland. Do I think they can get a winner? Do you know what? I do. I actually do think they can get a winner. And I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. I think Forest do score. But I don't think they finish Sunderland off. and I think they continue a decent start. 2-1 Sunderland.
Sweet. I will go for a opposite of that, and I'll just go 1-0 Forest at home.
1-0. And Ange side keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah, I don't particularly like it. The more that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to change that to 2-1 Forest. I'm changing it to 2-1.
Hey, don't go with me.
No. But it was, as I said, it was less about Ange side keeping a clean sheet, and it's more, I'm super high on Jadon Anthony. Oh, wait, he's at Burnley, isn't he? Wait, no, hang on. Yeah, he's Burnley. Wait.
Oh, I thought you were going back to that. Yeah, he's at Burnley. Are you on about the striker? I know who you mean. The striker.
Yeah.
Starts with M, I think. Chat, help us out.
But yeah, as in, I just think they're a team that are capable of getting goals and anywhere where they are. So yeah, I'll go with that. What have we got here? We've got 1-1 by Colm. We've got 1-0 Sunderland from Sadek. We've got 2-1 Sunderland from Geddy. We've got 1-0 Sunderland from Jackie.
Come on, Jackie.
We've got 1-1 from PVR, and we've got Mayenda as the answer to the trivia.
Thank you, Geddy.
All right, next up is Spurs versus Wolves. I just
take the Arsenal hat off for a second. Take it off.
Yeah, no, what I'm going to do is I've just realised I've booked cinema tickets for Friday night. It's great movie. Oh, before we move on, just as a quick side note, people probably know that I watch way too many movies. Monday was a secret screening where you just turn up and you don't know what movie you're going to be seeing, but it's one that's not released yet. And it was, you'll know about, well, I hope you know about this guy, Shane, because I knew about him when I was at school and feel fortunate that I did. But the film's called I Swear, and it's about John Davidson, Scottish fella who in the 80s had Tourette's. And there were documentaries made about him.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Tourette's wasn't known, and he went on. And brilliant movie. I highly recommend it. I shed several tears during it, and I'm happy to admit that from being sad, from being happy. It was excellently done. Robert Aramayo from Game of Thrones is in it, and he was incredible. It was, fantastic movie. And something that is important. Like, I was at school with someone who had Tourette's when I was 13. So again, it was something that wasn't really known back then. I'm so lucky to see how we knew about it then, but a lot of people don't. They see someone walking down the street who swears, etc., and thinks that person's mental, when no, they're not. But there are some funny moments in there, and you'll see it on the trailer. But the most unimaginable thing that you don't want to say, this guy went on to get an MBE. When he walked in the national anthem finish, he went, "Fuck the Queen." So, and
that is not the views. Movie. That is not the views of the Double Pivot Pod, I might add.
No, she's dead. Who cares? But I'm meant to be going to see One Battle After Another on Friday because it comes out, the new Leo DiCaprio one.
It looks good.
The Oscar for it. Yeah, it's 2 hours 48 minutes long. I've got it booked for Friday. But looking at this game, Spurs v Wolves, I think I'm going to change it to Saturday and go watch the movie then and skip this because Spurs are going to win and Spurs are going to batter Wolves, and I don't really want to watch that. I'm going to go with the 3-0 Spurs.
He's honest. 3-0 Spurs.
Yeah.
I've been high on Spurs defense.
Oh.
I've got that's the Scottish bias. I've got a double Spurs defense that I might play this weekend. There's a niggling thing in me that say that Wolves are going to score. I think they're getting a little bit their act together in terms of more going forward, not going back and not winning games. Spurs are pretty strong, so I'm kind of struggling with, and they're at home, so I'm kind of struggling with that. I do still think I'm going to go for my original thought. I'm going to go for 4-1 Wolves. Like you're saying, it'll be a high score. 4-1 Wolves. Jesus, 4-1 Spurs. Imagine that. Imagine the odds on that. Yeah, I think it's a battering.
I'm going to just clip that moment. I'm going to clip the 4-1 Wolves and just put it everywhere.
4-1 Wolves. What if it comes in, though? You'd be like, who's this guy predicting 4-1 Wolves? What a legend. Yeah, I think Richie scores. I think he could even get 3.
Okay, maybe. Now you're being stupid and biased. So just,
Although I tell you who. Well, before we move on, I tell you who I do think is going to return. Who hasn't returned in a while is Porro. He's got Wolves in this game, and then then he's got Leeds back to back. So I think he does.
I'm looking forward to looking at our teams for next week, Shane. I wonder if you might have Porro and Richarlison in your team. Sadek's gone with a 3-0 as well with Kudus. And again, look, Sadek, no bias.
Yes,
all the goals
that's
will
what
be
I'm
scored by
talking
the
about.
person in his fantasy team.
Yes.
This is, look, Sadek, I actually don't disagree with a lot of your scores, but I think your goal scorers are a bit of a fantasy for them all to come in. We've got Colm with a 2-0, Geddy with a 4-0, Jackie with the 3-0, and Shane is now going to predict Villa v Fulham. And this should take no more than 8 seconds. I'm going to time you. Oh, no, actually a bit longer because...
It's a difficult one. Fulham aren't at home. They're not a Jekyll Hyde. They're still set up quite defensive away from home, but they're not as attacking, naturally being away from home. Villa have to score again. They have to score. They scored 1 goal this season. It was Matty Cash. So they have to score another goal. I think Emery kind of reverts. Yeah, I know, yeah. I think Emery kind of reverts a bit to his old system. He's been trying a little bit different out, even in pre-season, and I think he's just trying to do too much. I think he goes back to what he knows, what the players know, and actually, I think they beat Fulham, and I think they still concede. I think Villa win 2-1.
I've gone the other way around. I think Fulham win 2-1. The main reason being Villa are playing in Europe tomorrow, and last season Villa always lost the week after they played in Europe.
Good point.
And I'm just going to stick with that trend until I see more. Jackie's gone with 2-1 to Villa. Colm, who no bias, 2-0 Fulham. We'll see if any more come in.
Colm.
I like the way we're planning this because it's on to Newcastle Arsenal and it's me first. And one thing I will say is Newcastle and Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe has Arsenal's number. Eddie Howe has dominated us in all recent fixtures, it has felt like. And the way Eddie Howe has done that is sitting deep and countering through Alexander Isak. Now, I don't want to say Walter Made isn't Alexander Isak, but Walter Made isn't Alexander Isak and doesn't have the pace of Isak and doesn't have the physicality of Isak to torment Gabriel and Saliba the way that Isak definitely did. So I struggle to see how Newcastle score in this game unless Arsenal give away a penalty. You know, the only open play XG that Arsenal have conceded were those 2 chances against City. The only goals they've let in is 1 against City and 1 free kick against Liverpool. So I struggle to see how Newcastle score. I don't think Arsenal will batter them because Newcastle is still solid defensively. I think it'll be 1-0 with a second goal coming on the break towards the end of the game. So I'll go 2-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. I think Newcastle have been a little bit of a disappointment, and I think Eddie Howe has kind of made it known to the board that his squad isn't as deep as it needs to be, especially just in general, even in the Premier League, really. I don't think it's as deep as it needs to be. And yeah, their XG's been pretty poor. I know they're at home, St James's Park. Do you know what I've seen from Newcastle a lot? You know, at home is, listen, it's a very, very, very tough place to go. Actually, I'm trying to get tickets. If anyone's listening to the pod or on the pod that is a Newcastle fan, knows people, and it's free. Well, it's not free, but there's tickets going. I'm looking to take my little boy. So, yeah, drop his DM. But anyway, on the game, every time I've seen this in James's Park, they do get away with a lot of stuff. And I'm talking like yellow cards. The game a few weeks ago, they've probably missed out on about 3 yellow cards and probably would have been a red card at the end of the game. And I think it maybe goes to their head a little bit. Wolf Amadi, I don't think he's the answer, like you said. I mean, listen, it's going to be difficult when you don't have Isaac anymore. But this Wolf Amadi, he isn't the messiah, as they say from a certain film. And I just don't think they have much about them just now, Newcastle. I think Arsenal, they do close it out. I think it's quite clinical. Do I go 2? Do I go 3? I think I have to agree with you, and I'll go 2-0. 2-0 Arsenal. Hopefully, an SA masterclass.
We've got 1-1 from Colm. We've got 3-2 from Sadek. We've got 2-1 Arsenal from
Over
Geddy.
the years, they've had some good games, didn't they? They had that 4-4, didn't they?
Gordon is back, and Jackie's gone 2-1 Arsenal. Sadek has gone that he has Timber. So I asked if there'd be clean sheets and Defcon in the 0-0 that he went for in the Villa Fulham game.
Nice,
good dream game to continue.
Yes,
and also, please, everyone, if you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe and share this afterwards. As you can see, you are the massive. Look, there's at most 8 of you in there because I'm clearly lurking around as well. And we've got 9. We've got 10 viewers, double figures. Woo for the double pivot.
Like you're saying, Kieran, especially on a night where there's like Black Box and other people like that. We do appreciate you come across, and you choose us, even if it is like half an hour before that starts. We appreciate it, and it's great to.
But we're aiming to wrap it up quickly, so Colm is going to end with Everton v West Ham, and then we'll jump into our teams.
I like it. Go.
Not Colm, sorry. Why did I hand it over to Colm? I want Colm in the show. I don't want you anymore, Shane.
Get in here. Yeah, get in here. Everton, West Ham. Everton lost in the cup actually, and they had a fairly full strength side, and Dye didn't play Grealish. Well, sorry, they came on and Dye and Grealish, but yeah, I think David Moyes kind of underestimated that. I mean, this is probably good they're out of the cup, whatever, but yeah, against West Ham, I still think they do win. I think it's just a normal Davy Moyes game, but I think it's with a twist. Normally, we would think it's going to be a 1-0, performance. I actually feel this season they've conceded more goals, Everton, but they've scored more going forward. More important for staying in the league. And I think this is actually the game that could be the end of Potter. I think I kind of stop myself from going 4-0. I think it'll. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go 4-0 Everton. I think it'll be a bit of a battering, and I think this is the end of Potter, mate. I think he's done after this.
Yeah, I think they lose, but I struggle to find a world where Everton can score 4 goals in a game.
I know it doesn't sound right. I get it. It doesn't sound right, but
no, I'm not having it. I'll give you 2-1. I'll give you 2-1 in that game.
2-1.
And to wrap it up, we have Colm with a 2-0, Jackie with a 3-0.
Go on, Jackie.
Rannick with a West Ham win 2-0.
Yes. Oh,
Getty with a 2-0 Potter sacked. And Colm with an O'Brien goal.
Oh, in fact, actually, O'Brien or Tarkowski and stuff like that. Alex Vollo put some stuff up about that and screening and stuff like that. If you haven't, go and check it out. It's a really good read. But do you know who I think will actually score in this game? And no one owns him. Keane. This is like a prime.
Right,
Keane
anyway, let's move on to your team for next week, Shane, before we lose our minds and viewers.
Right, so again, for people on the pod, I've got Vicario and Porro double up. Then I've got Munoz currently. I think that it might change to LaCroix. I've been struggling between those two, but Liverpool fairly open. Virgil van Dijk, Senesi against Leeds. Then in mid, I've got Reinders, Eze, Rodgers currently, and Wirtz. And Haaland up top with Richarlison. On the bench, you got Petrovic, Gakpo, LaCroix, and Mark Guay. So I will be making some transfers this week. Wirtz is gone. Semenyo will come in. So he'll move to Semenyo. And then I have to decide between Rodgers or Gakpo starting. I might have Gakpo for, that Liverpool cover. I don't know. Someone's just telling me about Rodgers. I will probably bring Gakpo in. But apart from that, though, I think I'm pretty set up. What's your thoughts before we go into your team, mate? Everyone in chat, what's your thoughts as well?
Yeah, look, I don't love the amount of Spurs you've got in there, but for Wolves, it's fine.
One in your team is too many.
Yeah, it's a strong team for this week. It looks solid.
Yeah. 3 free transfers in the bank as well, so I think I'm going to use 1, maybe 2 max. Keep the rest for maybe game week 7. But yeah, I'm fairly set up. Captaincy.
Getty, just to answer that, he's sacking him off for Semenyo finally, so that he can have even closer to my team, despite wildcarding, still making another move to get closer to my team.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Keeping Wirtz in there over like Semenyo or something, and he got 0 points. He came on last week, got a yellow card. So yeah, and this is why it's probably not a good idea to buy a player around the £100 million mark. He might come good, but he might not, and it would be money. Not Travis, how are you doing, mate? As I say, cheers all. Just tuning in, so we'll go back and watch. Anthony just tied up for Betis and has a goal and assist. Yeah, standard, isn't it? Any player that goes away from United does very, very well. Same with Rashford, in Champions League. This comes in. I could have 10 of those if I bring in Reinders and the Pigeon for a -4. I mean, what I would say, Tom, is 10 in the same team as me. That's maybe a death warrant. But no, I think it's fairly set up. I think the Pigeon is actually underrated this week, especially against the Wolves team that are just getting battered. I think he could do very, very well. But yeah, that's my team. It's pretty good. Let's move on to yours because it's probably better than
mine. Oh wow, we went too far.
We double click. We clicked together.
Okay, let's not make it weirder than it is there.
Hey, go on, what's your team?
Yeah, look, I went early with the transfer. Milenkovic has left the building because I thought Gabriel would price rise. He still hasn't, but he was almost certainly coming into. I was probably planning on rolling this week and letting Milenkovic have a go against Sunderland, and then using 3 moves next week to go with the players I wanted. And Gabriel was one of those. But thinking about it, I was actually quite flexible on which Arsenal defender it was going to be. I made the move because to get Gokres and the other player I want in needed that money. But upon reflection, I wouldn't necessarily get Gokres. There's a few other options I'd be looking at. So yeah, team for this week is Petrovic in goal, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Munoz and Lacroix against Liverpool, Senesi, Gakpo, Bruno, Saka, Semenyo, Haaland. I'm fine with Lacroix playing against Liverpool because should be 4 points there. Munoz is playing because I'm not starting Rutter away to Chelsea. I'm not starting Fulkrug or Gui. So it's again just autopilot team. Made one move to bring Gabriel in and then just let them all have another go at it. There is, I would say, as things stand right now, about an 80% chance I do triple captain this week. I personally, if you could tell me that everything would be the same manager-wise, then I would prefer to go at home against West Ham later on in game week 13. But if West Ham have a new manager, then that fixture is not as appealing as this is. The way that I just look at this is Haaland's got 5 goals in 162 minutes against Burnley in 3 games. So he scores a goal every 30 odd minutes. He is on pretty decent form at the moment. And it's one of those where I feel like we've got the certainties again, as in later on. And again, this is me looking at it in a vacuum where if you're only going to triple captain Haaland, well, we know that fixture is going to be busier. We know that he may pick up an injury later on in the season. And we know that Marmoush and Shirky will be back to take minutes off of him. So if you're looking at it in that vacuum, I do think he's probably the best way of using the chip this year. I think Salah's probably not going to be as much of an option, but might be in the second half of the season. And again, I'm happy to do it in the midfield in the second half. So yeah, for me, there's lots of things pointing towards it. And I've done stuff on this in the past, but the triple captain's the least valuable chip. It is one extra player out of 256 that you select across the season. So it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, it's a good team. I think, like you're saying, there's quite a lot of similarities between me and you. The double Liverpool defence, though. The double Palace defence. I mean, I'm struggling between playing Munoz or Lacroix because I think Munoz could get in behind Liverpool, but the safe option is probably going Lacroix, isn't it? Because he will get a 4 point and maybe even a bonus point if it's a low scoring 1-0 or something. But both of them. Have you got any free transfers left?
No.
You don't think about taking a minus? No, don't want to take a -4.
No, not a chance. I may take a -4 next week, but I'm not taking one this week. I may not take a -4 next week because it may just be a straight swap of like a Gakpo to a Eza or a Rice.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think a lot of our teams are coming, not the same because there's so many different players that we can choose this season from kind of,
But again, this is pretty much my team since the start of the season. It's just merged towards what everyone else now has. So, I'm just gutted that I didn't go. Yeah, I didn't go in hard enough. I was saying it a lot, and probably the biggest takeaway I have is how much I was saying at the start of the season of pick your 5 set and forget defenders and use your transfers to attack with attackers. And I didn't go all in on that. I picked risky defenders into Kuiper and Milenkovic. Well, Milenkovic was fine. Milenkovic just went the wrong way. But yeah, look, I'm fine with this team for this week. That is kind of it on my team. What else do we have to cover, Shane?
No, that's it. We'll wrap up. I do like just to go on. I think I might get Bruno. I might do a double. I might get rid of Gakpo and Wirtz and bring Bruno in as well because he's got so many routes to points. And he's a quality player. He is a fantastic player. You brought a chat up there. Sandre, how are you doing? Thanks so much for joining. Hi, on a wild card. Who would you prefer, Romero or Tarkowski? Kieran, you're the brains of this operation. What would you do?
I'd agree with Sandre. Romero's got the better fixtures, but Romero's not going to get Defcon all that frequently. He does still have set piece. I'd say there's an argument for the next few to go with Romero, but if I were to stick with my point of if you want someone that you can just play every game, then it would be Tarkowski. You know, the funny thing is I saw people bench Tarkowski last week against Liverpool, which is just mental because he's definitely going to get it in that game. So yeah, you go Tarkowski.
And no Europe as well.
If you can get a player, but if you could get a 5.5 midfielder who got you 4 points every week, you'd do it. So I just find it weird when people don't do it with a defender, and that's kind of his flaw. The games where they get a clean sheet, you predicted this week that they're going to win 3-0, right? Or 4-0 rather. If they win 4-0, then Tarkowski's looking at least 8 points, possibly an attack and return. So I'd agree on that.
Nice. Right, you got any more?
Travis has also said, good luck all. Should have a better week idea if we've got a double game week after the EFL draw. What I'd say on that is go and listen to James from Planet FPL. He's a genius when it comes to all of these things. There was something out earlier today where he and Stitch were talking, may have been yesterday. And that's regarding Palace. There is a lot of moving parts in that. And one of the challenges is it's actually going to be easier to move that fixture into 2026 than it is to find a gap with the European games, because Palace play European games the week Liverpool don't play European games, and vice versa. So when one of them has a break, the other one's playing. So if that's a game that has to be redone, as an example. So yeah, we might do Travis. It's worth keeping an eye on. Some people might use triple captain in a double game week. Always fun to get that extra player. Some might choose to use that first bench boost in it, but definitely one to keep an eye on.
That's it, yeah. I think that's pretty much done. I think what we'll say to everybody is look out for the running thoughts video. I'm back from my Scandinavia escapade, so there'll be more running thoughts this weekend. Quite a long run as well, so there might be quite more thoughts than normal, so look forward to that. Before that, on Friday, I've got my decoder, so we'll go through the fixtures and we try and predict any outcomes that maybe people can't see. In game week 2 or 3, we predicted that myself and Nightmare, we did predict that Spurs would beat City. So it does have a lot of value and it definitely helps for predicting going forward. So it's Friday morning on that, running thoughts at the weekend. And then we'll be back same time here for the matchups for game week 7. Kieran, before you go, mate, thank you very much again for joining me. It's great to see you. Great to catch up after the week, after the hell of the week that I've had. It's been an absolute pleasure to come back on, speak to yourself, speak to everyone that's coming to the chat. So have you got anything to add before we leave, apart from good luck to everybody else?
Yeah, no, just good luck. Have a good week. And thanks for everyone who joined, and thanks to anyone who's watching this back. Do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you later.